KevinJJohnston here. Just thought I would come on live and talk a little bit about my experiences in lovely Costa Rica so far and tell you what I know, what I've learned, and I guess a couple of questions you guys want to ask. By all means, I'll take those questions and answer them for you. So this is my third week now inside of Costa Rica on the west coast. So far, it's hot, which is good. Believe me, it's good. You'll notice that because the sun is up 12 hours a day and it's wintertime right now, it's very, very easy to keep yourself physically fit. So I walk a lot, which is something I absolutely enjoy doing. You sweat a lot here, so I'm going through, I don't know, 9 of these a day, I guess. With the amount of sweating that you do, you'll probably urinate maybe half the times, third of the times that you would if you were staying at home in the winter in Canada. So sweating is good. Toxins are always getting out of your body. I like that. Recharging on water, and you have to take salts. If you guys are really into working out in Costa Rica, what you guys have to do is you want to make sure you get a tablespoon of salt into your body. Not necessarily right at the beginning of the day, but you'll lose a lot of sodium with all the sweating that you do here. So tablespoon of salt, douse it with water. It's not as bad as you think, guys. And you'll retain water for the day, which is something you absolutely must do. So let's just go through a couple quick things here. I'm learning the real estate market here in Costa Rica, mainly because I don't see any particular type of future in Canada. Canada has not been a country for quite some time. It's more of just an economic zone where everybody takes money from everybody else and nothing is ever achieved. There's no new industries opening up. There are no manufacturing plants opening up, and people that invest in businesses tend to just lose them. I mean, look what happened during the fake pandemic. We had businesses just shut down. Why? Because a couple of losers that worked for medical agencies said so. And then they would send police out whose job is not to harass people, is not to steal your businesses, not to assault you and pull you out of your own house and whatnot, is to uphold the law. And medical orders are not laws. They're just a couple of assholes dictating terms to people. So I think we all have caught on to the fact, I mean, I caught on to it early, but I think we've all caught on to the fact now as a people that there was no pandemic. This was about a couple of things, was moving wealth out of the country without people questioning why it was being done, and complete and total behavioral control. Now they know what they can get away with. Now they know how much you're going to comply. Now they also know what will work on you and what will not. So the initial frightening of all of you out there with COVID worked. It terrified everybody, but more towards the end of it, and there never was a COVID thing, by the way, but more towards the end of it, they started trying to make you afraid of other things like monkeypox. And they were saying that farm animals were getting COVID, and then tigers, Bengal tigers were getting it. And those stories didn't work. So when they weren't able to retain our attention anymore, the American government went ahead in Congress and said, yeah, we have UFOs. Yeah, we have aliens. Yeah, we caught all that stuff. Yeah. And that story didn't work either. So they've been trying to hit us with more and more things, and it ain't working. So what was the next thing to do? That was the Trump indictment. And what was that there to do? It was there to distract the fact that the Canadian court system and the American court system is going even further now to remove our rights by having AI judges judge cases and offer and render judgments before you even go to court. So let me explain this to you. The AI bit, what had to happen, especially in the Canadian court systems, which are corrupt as hell. They needed a way to, not authorize, it's the wrong word. They needed a way to justify, thank you, bringing an artificial intelligence system into the courthouse, into the courtrooms. How do you do that? Well, you have to deliberately back the courts up, which they've done. So if you're in for like rape or murder trials or whatnot, you're not getting a trial date for 7 years. Like, you're locked up for 7 years before you even get a bail hearing. What's the point of being in Canada when your rights are just completely, being trodden upon? Okay, so now that they have deliberately in the province of Ontario delayed murder trials, the most important of them all, by 7 years, they say, we're never going to catch up. What do we do? we bring in AI. Artificial intelligence, obviously computers have the ability to scan through years upon years, and even centuries, if they wanted to, of case law, and look at every single thing that was ever rendered on the case and make a comparable judgment to a comparable case, not ever considering the evidence, not ever considering the personal biases that people involved in the case might have. You know, for example, in my case in Ontario, I had not one but two Crown attorneys who absolutely hated me in every way they possibly could, and they broke every single law that they possibly could to ensure that I stay in the court system, just to piss me off, I guess, just to interfere with my life, to hurt me and to hurt my family. So why would I put any faith or trust in the justice system when I've seen it done to me? And I've had 346 court appearances in the last 7 years. For what? Because I'm a journalist. And to piss me off, to burn up my time, to keep me so busy fighting cases that I don't even live life. You know, there's nothing worse than sitting down to dinner with your family and you got to rifle through your meal because I've got to put some fucking legal paperwork together for a charge that wasn't even a real charge in the first place, just to have them drop them at a later date. And the whole thing is to make the process of the courts the punishment. But imagine this now. Imagine they say, you know, this KevinJJohnston guy, they talk to the AI and they say, we don't like him. He's too handsome, he's too smart, his audience is too big, he speaks too clearly, he's too correct and too honest. We need you to alter the decision a little bit in the favor of us. And the AI will do what it's told. I won't have access to the AI. I won't even be allowed to talk to it. The AI itself will be what renders a judgment before I even walk into the courtroom. So imagine this. This is how it's going to work. You will get arrested for something stupid. You'll make bail, maybe. And then all this stuff is going to get pumped in to the AI by some clerk. The clerk could have a whisper in their ear saying, let's fuck with this guy, I can't stand him. And the clerk puts some bad stuff in. And now the AI is going to render a guilty plea before you enter the courtroom. So as you enter the courtroom expecting to watch some TV screen, some AI voice tell you that that you're guilty, you're going to be arrested as soon as you enter the courthouse. And then they'll tell you, you're guilty. You're going straight to jail. You're already guilty and you've already been sentenced. So that's the idea, is to speed the process up to the point where you're arrested, you are found guilty, and you are incarcerated for the time the AI lays out before you even step into the courtroom. It's called entrapment. This has nothing to do with rights. This has nothing to do with the safety of the public, or it's not even in the interest of the public. It's now going to be the type of thing that if the left wing runs government, which it does right now, they make one complaint to someone and all that gets typed into the AI, and the AI is going to find you guilty and give you a 15-day sentence just because someone doesn't like you. And think about the crazy people that we have on the left wing in Canada right now. They are insane. 2 words, insane. And they are going to have access to this AI, and the conservatives like you and me and everybody else with an IQ over 90 will have no access to this AI. So really, everybody, what in the hell are you doing in Canada? This frightens me to no end. There's no human face anymore. And the human face is not going to be judged by the AI. And when I say the human face, I'm talking about all the circumstances surrounding the arrest. And the AI is not going to be educated in the fact that police will arrest you because they're just idiots, because they're stupid, because they were told to. It's not going to factor in politicians like Mississauga Mayor Bonnie Crombie, who had me charged with hate speech specifically because she didn't want to be outfoxed by me in debate. And the AI is not going to take that into consideration, period. In fact, judges don't even take that into consideration now. Yeah, so the only way to change the system is to become the government, which we can't do anymore because everything is rigged, or to take the system all the way down. Thurston, I don't know why you're asking me that stupid question. Obviously not. I'm here in Costa Rica, so no. The court system is going to become an assembly line. It's just going to be police. We need more money. So go arrest people for nothing. Go piss them off, and when they react, just lie and say they committed some act, get them into the court system, and now AI is going to judge them and incarcerate them. So the courthouses will become free and clear of work to do, but the jails are going to be completely full. So the courthouses may actually just be turned into prisons. And one of the theories that was brought forward, if you guys go onto Google Maps and you look up the mall in the province of Ontario, it's called Oakville Place. It's right on the Mississauga and Oakville border. The mall was completely revamped, and because it was completely revamped, nobody could afford it. And most of the tenants left. So in order to make that place useful, think about the parking lot that it has. It's got a massive parking lot, and it's got enough room to build cells all over the place. So they could fill a shopping mall up. Imagine one little store, a shoe store, could be turned into 10 cells, or one big cell with 10 people in it. Right? And if you want people to walk around and whatnot, the way that place is already built, it's already got a glass roof, so you can let them walk around the concourse a little bit and say, hey, look, you're actually outside because glass roof, some sunlight's coming in. That's how they do it. Because in Canadian prisons right now, I can tell you that you don't get to see daylight. I know. They locked me up for 7 weeks in Ontario, 7 weeks in Calgary, and another 40 days in Calgary, and so on. When they say that you get to go outside, the courtyard is about 60 feet by 30 feet, and it's got cages everywhere blocking out the sun. So you're not really outside. There's a little bit of air that comes in, but that's all that it is. Canada it's run by Nazis. And now they've got, we'll call them the brown shirts, or as Artur Pawlowski says, the Gestapo out there. They have all these god-awful human beings that can't wait to do something cruel to other human beings. That makes them psychos. And now you're going to have an AI system that's going to remove the thought process from all of them. So AI will tell cops, go get this guy, go lock him up. That's what's going to happen. Canada is going to be the first one to implement this. I think we all know this. New York State is going to follow suit very quickly because they've already done this now with their new concentration camps and their new General Rule 2.13, which is they can walk in your house and arrest you if they think you're sick and lock you up. And the AI judges are probably going to be there too. So really, Canada, can you think of any reason to be there? Property values are beginning to tank in Ontario. They'll start to tank in British Columbia. The British Columbia government's now dictated to you that you cannot rent your property out short term. It's your property. You should be able to rent to whomever you wish. The entire housing market is still teetering on complete collapse. There are 500,000 Palestinians coming into Canada next year, along with another 500,000 Africans and Middle Easterners. So what are we going to do with 1 million people coming into Canada in 2024? And what are we going to do when we have artificial intelligence courts that are specifically going to be geared to keeping white people and Canadian-born people who are not white but still Canadian-born, preventing us from having a voice on this? All right, that's what's going to happen, is artificial intelligence will be instructed to make sure that people do not dissent in any way. If anybody has an opinion that is exactly opposite these opinions here, then they're going to have those if statements on there saying, if white man says he does not like immigration, send a warrant out for his arrest. So warrants are going to be instantaneous. Now, I know like science fiction tends to get all this stuff correct. I'll never forget the movie Surrogates. It's a stupid movie, but there was one scene in there that frightened me because what had happened is there's a couple of fat slobs that are working in a computer department. They needed to get a warrant. So they made a phone call to a desk clerk at a courthouse saying, yeah, hello, everyone. We have to get a warrant to shut down surrogate number A9461. And then within 5 seconds, they had a warrant. They had a warrant. So who were they talking to? Was it a human clerk or was it AI? It's going to get there now. So when you get pulled over by police officers, and they start asking questions and you exercise your rights saying, I don't answer questions, thank you, they'll just make a quick call to an AI voice saying, hey, it's constable whatever, badge number whatever. I need a warrant to search this car. Boom! They're going to get warrants. Then they're going to arrest you, and then the AI is going to judge you guilty and lock you up. Artificial intelligence, as Elon Musk keeps saying, is the most terrifying thing going. Not because the AI itself is bad, but because human beings are too stupid to understand its danger and don't seem to understand that if you're going to put these things into AI and have it judge the average person like this, once you're no longer an employee of the government, the same AI will judge you. No one ever thinks 10 years down the road. These bylaws that we're writing will affect me. These laws I'm writing will affect me. These absolute deliberate destructions of all humanity's rights will eventually affect me. I mean, I guess poetic justice would be this. You bring these AI systems in, and then the politician who signed it into law, his teenage daughter goes and crashes a car, and the AI judges that she must be arrested, detained, and jailed for 6 years. Imagine that. And bail denied. That's how it is. So I just can't imagine any reason why anybody would want to live in Canada anymore. Don't forget, on top of that, you already have laws in place that have destroyed completely all of your rights anyway. So if you get a ticket, parking ticket, or you get a speeding ticket, or you get, what else did you get there? Like a drinking ticket or any bylaw infraction tickets anywhere in the province of Ontario, they have what's called the administrative penalty system. So what you'll do is you have to go and meet someone and try to convince them that you're innocent. You understand that? Let me give you an example. I got a parking ticket. Now, it was a scumbag piece of dirt. He was telling me that my car, this was a ticket I got on private property, by the way. It was my own driveway. What we were doing is I had my car parked on a 45-degree angle. My driveway, do what I want. Because we were going to be manually grabbing a trailer and dropping it onto the hitch so I could back out and leave. That was our plan. Again, my car, my driveway, this piece of shit comes up and gives me a ticket. I told him, I see you on this property again. I'm going to interpret you as an attacker and an assailant. I'm going to defend myself. Do you understand? You're banned from the property. You're trespassed officially. So the guy gives me a ticket. I fight it in court, but then I get to go and talk to an administrative penalty guy. So it's a Sikh guy, not even a white guy, just a Sikh guy. I could tell right off the hop, this guy hated my guts. Like right off the hop, he's thinking, I'm going to fuck with this white guy. That was the look on his face. So then he says, well, let me look at the notes. He says, okay, so you were on city property and you got a parking ticket. I said, no, I was on my own property. He gave me a ticket on my driveway. He says, well, we're just going to have to go ahead and leave this ticket where it is. You're going to have to pay the fee plus the extra $20 for coming to see me today. And that's when I filed a lawsuit against the city of Mississauga for that and that particular officer. Guess what happened? The ticket goes away. And they cut me a check for $500 to cover my paperwork expenses. But the ability to sue the city, that's going to be going away soon too. Why? Why, oh, why, oh, why are we involved with anything in Canada? It's all about stealing. And it's always foreigners who did nothing for this country who are hurting the residents of this country. They're always in positions of power now. Cannot quite figure that out. Okay, so Kurt says, when I went to court for refusing a mask, I knew the courts were corrupt. They wouldn't let me in without a mask or my case would be found guilty. Pieces of shit, all of them. That's Canada. It's a joke. It's not a country. It's an economic zone where everyone steals from each other. And I also wanted to point out, too, that the courts, even though they say they've got boatloads of power, they do in reference to the criminal court system. But they also don't from the standpoint of they can't make you do select things if you don't want to. So let me give you an example here. As you know, corrupt courts in Canada, because it's me, because I got a big mouth, and because I got good looks, and because I'm a better public speaker than everybody who works for the Canadian government currently. Like, the only one that can hold a candle to me is Pierre Poilievre. The only one. They know this, so when I get sued by somebody who has just that much influence in society, I'm going to lose the lawsuit no matter what. And I always do, even without a trial. All right? They listen to my wording. Nah, you lose. That's how it is. So the courts say I owe $11.75 million. I say, fuck you. No, I don't. I don't even recognize the authority of civil court in Canada. I'm not giving you anything. And I haven't. And even though we're talking about very powerful people that fund Justin Trudeau, they still can't collect a penny off of me because I refuse to pay it. Now, the government has destroyed me financially anyway, so even if I wanted to give you $11.75 million, where would I get it? So that's how that works. I think really the point of the story here is if you're thinking about suing me, I would suggest that you reconsider because I can't give you anything anyway. All right? I just can't. So factor in that the courts will probably, if you sue me, you'll win because it's me. Not because you make a good argument or because you're telling the truth, but because it's me. You're not going to be able to collect. And the truth is you can't really collect with anybody anyway. So the only options that Canadians have now, unfortunately, is if you want to get paid by someone that owes you money, you got to break their fingers. But the law says you can't do that. So the courts are so bad at what they do that the only options that Canadians have is to go down the road of the 1920s and do it themselves. But they'll arrest you for it, so you can't. There's no way for Canadians to get justice in Canada. The courts are not about justice. It is not a justice system. It's a for-profit corporation where the number one client is the provinces in which the courtrooms exist, and they get customers by having police go out and arrest people for nothing. Artificial intelligence is going to ruin you. It's going to absolutely ruin you. And that's why I am working with good people that can help you escape communist Canada. I'm working with good people who can help you get into El Salvador, Costa Rica, Mexico, Caribbean I don't recommend, and so on. And I know a couple of good immigration lawyers in the United States, but if you're going to do that, I'm a little concerned about this election not taking place. You might be going down at a time of civil war. The reason I'm not in Myanmar right now is that it's undergoing civil war. There's no point me going to a country that's fighting itself. America might be in that boat soon. If Trump's name is not allowed to be on the ballot federally, you know the militias are going to go ballistic, right? Florida's safe. Texas is safe, I'm sure. No Democrat state is safe. Not one. I'd stay out of any blue state you possibly can. And herein lies the problem, is that the left wing somehow has got power all over North America. There is no left wing, right wing here in Costa Rica, where I am right now. I haven't seen a single pride flag, thank God for that. I haven't seen any Hamas or ARSA or Tamil Tiger flags, thank God for that. I have not seen anybody protesting in the way of anything left wing at all. I haven't seen a single Palestinian flag here. I've seen nothing here because Costa Ricans, they're busy people. All right, the sun comes up at 5, it goes down at 5. You have 12 hours per day to wake your ass up, get breakfast in your system, get done what you have to do, and then carry on with your day. And that's it. You don't have time to monkey around. And people here don't monkey around. So if losers, left-wing losers, were to show up here in Costa Rica demanding that Costa Ricans protest in the name of Palestine, they'd probably get your ass kicked, man. Costa Ricans are not going to put up with that crap. They're just not. And Mexicans they're not putting up with it either. I mean, Mexico, depending where you are in Mexico, there's either the tourist trap places or there's the third world places. It's one or the other in Mexico. There doesn't seem to be any particular in between. So people who are in places like Cancun and Playa del Carmen or Baja or whatnot, or Acapulco, these are places where the tourists exist and would never pay attention to that shit anyway. So by default, loser left-wing idiots don't go there. But if you're pulling that stunt in the serious areas, in no way, shape, or form will you get away with doing what you're doing. And if you were to be one of those just stop oil idiots who wear the orange jumpsuits and lie down on the road, Mexicans will run you over. They will. The cops will just get out of the car and beat the shit out of you. That's what they'll do. They're not putting up with it. The Western world is allowing itself to be destroyed by these idiots who protest in the most asinine ways possible. You mean just stop oil? You need oil. We love oil here. You have to have it. Give me a second, folks. I just got to check and see. I might lose you for a second. Sorry, guys. I had to just check a message there. So, coming to Latin America, if it's Costa Rica, El Salvador, and Mexico, is a good move. Belize, probably, but Belize is very far behind. You're not going to have anywhere near the number of things in Belize that you have in Costa Rica. Nicaragua, I'm not even going to go into the country. It's very, very far left. Very far left. Okay. I'm going to have to end this now, folks, because I'm being called away. I got to go see some houses today and shoot some video. Yeah, that's right, Moonball. Cops in Canada beat up old men for honking their horns. It's crazy stuff. I get it. Totally, totally crazy stuff. I got to go. The Kevin J. Johnston Show is tonight, everybody. We're giving away cash. Every Tuesday and every Thursday, we give away cash. A sweet old lady in Alberta won $175 on Tuesday's show. We have 50-50 tickets, $10 a piece. Buy as many as you like, and we're splitting it right down the middle. So I'd like to expand the Kevin J. Johnston show, which is why we got to raise funds to do so. I was not allowed to run 50-50 draws in Canada because the trade commissions and the lottery commissions said no. Costa Rica has no such thing. So if I want to give away everything, including my dirty underwear, I'm allowed to do so. Right now I am bound by Costa Rica law because none of my social media has a server based in Canada where Canadian law would apply. And that is why we're giving away cash. But it's 50-50 draw. Someone every night gets cash. Watch the show, freedomreport.ca, and that is at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Mountain, 6 p.m. Pacific. Thanks, guys. Love you. See you soon.